Blarla. Hello peeps and welcome back to Project Hospital. Welcome back to the Traumatology DLC. We are currently working on having no lost or dead patients for 5 days in a row. You can see here we've managed to achieve a day. So that's ongoing, but not our focus for this particular episode. No. I'm getting a lot of questions about when this hospital will be updated and available on the workshop. And this is a very good question because it has been a long time. I have had a small break from the game. We have since learnt that Oxymoron, the developers of Project Hospital, will be doing no more major updates or DLC for this game either. So we know that in this hospital now, the addition of this floor, all departments are now in this hospital and they will never need to change. What I have been doing over many episodes now and playtime in the middle is working out any potential problems that I'm seeing in the hospital where changes in the build or the design of it would benefit the hospital and help it run smoother. And there are definitely some problems. Let's just deal with Charles here, who is currently in Traumatology. There it is. These are the tests we're going to do. Mainly a CT. There. Good. Lovely. So one of the issues that I was having with this area, let's put the walls up just because it's a bit easier to read the game like this. So this area has always been for my sonographies and cardiography rooms across all the departments, with some minor exceptions. So we have on the cardiology floor, they have their own cardiography here, which is for ward patients only. So if they need it, there's one right here, very quick to access, quite a popular room, as you can imagine, and outpatients can't use it. Then we've also, on the ICU floor, here's the ICU, we have set up a sonography and a cardiography for ward patients only, and we've tried to keep it close to the ICU, and this is obviously our emergency ICU, so it's nice and close to all of this. And because it is once again ward patients only, we have these departments using them. They're very well used, and they are X-ray. They are X-ray ones, hence the grey. So they're not specific to any department, so it doesn't matter which ward they're on, they can use these, which is great. So that was starting to, I mean, this area here with all these sonographies and cardiographies for all these different departments has never been well used. And we've talked about it before in a few previous episodes, and I've continued to mess around with this and try to see what would be a good balance. So if we now look in build mode, we can see that I have now unassigned look, these four here. And even this one here. So we've had to keep, of course, this neuro exam room for neurology. But you can see here that it's not really used. Look, none. It's rarely used, but it's the only place they can go for particular exams. So we have to keep that. So I set up X-ray, one sonography and one cardiography, and I have found that this single sonography, and it accepts both ward and outpatients, it tends to get low to none every day, even when we had all that overrun business happening quite in an episode or two ago, where the hospital was absolutely rammed. This was barely touched. So I believe that this single sonography is going to be enough, and that these three sonographies are no longer required. This is totally handling it. What I found here is that a single cardiography had periods of critical and high, and at the moment this cardiography Here is day, medium and low at night, but as I say, I have seen it quite overrun. And this again is doing ward and outpatients. So I have found the need to have a second cardiography, and again these are all x-ray. You can see that we're in the x-ray department here. These are all x-ray, so any department can use these. And this at the moment is saying low in the day, none at night. But I have seen these come under some considerable stress during high volume moments in the hospital. But that means that we don't need these 5 rooms. We've got 4 here that we can bin, and we've got a room here that we can bin. Leaving us with... I've also still got all the staff. I'm still paying all the staff in case I wanted to increase capacity again. So we've got a lot of staff that we can be sacking and clearing out these rooms. So it becomes then a question of, well, what do we do in this space? Well, there is another problem within this hospital, and it is in our blood works, hematology here. So if we come to labs, here it is. So our other 2 labs, pretty fine. This has got low workload day and night. Sometimes I see it on medium, but you can see that we do have room to expand both day and night staff in this space. It's a similar situation with the microbiology lab as well. It's low and low right now, but I do see it sometimes pop up to medium, but all the same, there is space to expand day and night staff. However, hematology, while reading medium and low at the moment, is very often high and critical. And we have no room to expand staff further. It is at absolute max capacity. Now, I don't really want to change, if we come back to what it looks like when we're playing, I don't really want to change or move these labs. What we have here is a beautiful place, waiting room with toilets, and we also have the pharmacy so that outpatients can come here and get all of their lab work in one nice location. I'm very keen for that. But what if, to relieve stress on this lab, we build a second hematology lab down here on the ground floor that concentrates on ward patients only? That's its pure focus. The other hematology lab that we still have can also do ward patients, but the one down here would do nothing but ward patients, just those. Never takes outpatients. I think that could be very, very useful. With those items in place, all problems that I experience in this hospital are resolved. That's still not going to take up the remaining space that we have here. So I thought, well, what else could I put in this space? One thing that I've considered is how much I hate this janitor's closet. Being able to split this would be great, so it's not quite so rubbish to look at. So that's a possibility. Also, one thing I have not liked for the longest time is that we've had to build this out in order to house pathology. I'm thinking about moving pathology to the ground floor behind the hematology labs so that we can once again reinstate the garden that was here, because we've lost a lot of green over here because of all the new surgery teams we had to put in. Like, this is absolutely rammed with surgical teams now. We also had to increase, of course, the surgical nurses, and as a result the canteen grew, and we've lost a lot of green up here, and we've lost the green that I had here completely, and it upsets me. I want this building at the top to be smaller than everything below it. So that's what today's episode is going to be about. We are going to do the final big build, change around, messing about with this hospital, so that we can get a huge step closer to me being able to upload it on the workshop. And what I will say about the workshop version is I'm actually going to blueprint this entire hospital. I'm going to set up a new map and paste the hospital in its entirety to there, so that when it goes up onto the workshop there'll be no staff. The money won't be crazy high, you know, you'll start with starting money. I'll make sure of that. And all the insurance policies will be reset, so you can start it like a brand new campaign hospital. It will be fully furnished though, because I've put far too much work into the furnishing of this to then go and delete it and give you empty rooms. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it. No. It defeats the point of what I have loved about this hospital, what I do love about this hospital. So yes, we're going for a big push towards getting the hospital ready for the workshop, which I know many of you will be pleased with. So the first thing that we need to do is change these rooms a little bit. We are going to, if we come back into build mode and go to labs, not labs, X-ray, we are going to put our 2 cardiography rooms here, and we're going to put the sonography room here, which means that while we have this, from here down, it's good to build in, which I'm quite excited about. I might even look at putting this neuro lab so that we can pull this entire section, because it's possible that pathology will take up this. And then I'm thinking labs and janitor closets here. So maybe we could look at moving, if we go to neuro, maybe we could remove from neurology one of these diagnostic rooms, because these are all reading none at the moment. This department doesn't get very busy anymore because of how they've designed the game when you get new DLCs. So similar to our cardiology, where we've assigned one of the diagnostic rooms to a cardiography, we could do the same with the neuro exam here. It's difficult because of some of the equipment that's in this room is not easy to fit into a small space and it look sensible when people are using it. But I think I'm up for the challenge. I think I'm going to give this a go, because what it is you've got this machine where they need to sit on either side, and then you've got this machine where they need to sit at this right angle. So it could be very difficult to squeeze them into one of those diagnostic rooms up there. But let's see what we can do. Well, I've done it, but I absolutely hate it. So this now becomes the only room where outpatients are coming up to these floors for examinations, whereas normally it's just ward patients and then visitors for people on the ward. And I don't really want outpatients traipsing up here. We've also had to put a waiting room here. Unlike all the others, whereas the corridors are nice and clear for stretchers to go through. And then not only that, but this room is so incredibly pokey. Everything, I've tried to get as much in there as possible to ram it in, but it's not great. And I actually just really, really hate it. So I think what I'm going to do instead is put it here. This is actually a slightly bigger room to these. And we don't need the staff room like we once did. So there's going to be a lot less staff here for a start. They're also going to be right near this door. There's canteen area here. There's staff room there. And I think for the sake of some staff members here that are rarely very busy, if ever busy, I think I'm just going to make them walk a little bit further for these facilities. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to scrap moving it up there, put this back to normal, and we are going to put these 4 rooms in these 4 spaces here so that we still get to reclaim this entire part of the building. Okay, right, let's get to it. Alrighty, I think we've got something here. So we have managed to get everything that's here over here. We haven't done the waiting room or anything yet, but we've got 2 windows here, and they don't encroach on the examination area, which we've tucked away behind this wall here, and it still has its sink area and whatnot. But we've just made the office space a little bit bigger so that there's more room for these items and for everybody to move around them. But we've still also got the little office space where the patient can come in and sit down, talk to them for a bit, and then they go and do whatever examinations they're doing. I think I'm really pleased with this. I think this is working well, meaning that we no longer need this. So the next job is to sort out potentially the waiting room. What I might do is move this, redecorate this. So this is the X-ray sonography room. The waiting room is almost pretty much done here. We will just need to change some of the icons. And there's the question of what colour do we want to make this? Because we're going to have neurology here. And then the other three are going to be X-ray. And usually I put the colour outside in the waiting room that's relevant to the room, which we can, of course, see here, with the exception of this. But these two departments rely on the same shade of green. It's just that one has red as an accent, the other one doesn't, you know. So they sort of worked together. But otherwise, I've not really been faced with this issue before. I'm thinking I might just make the whole thing X-ray. And then the door can keep its purple stripe, for example. I think that might work for us. Let me know in the comments below if you think this would be better as a purple area, even though it's got X-ray across the room, or if just making this whole area dedicated to X-ray works. What will be nice is we'll be able to keep all these icons here for outpatients or walk-ins. It's the same here, of course. The signs about what's on the ground floor in that building is right here on this glass. So I won't have to change any of that by also keeping the neurology exam room here, which is absolutely fantastic, coming along nicely. So we have sorted out the waiting rooms. Now we need to move the member of staff, these members of staff, over to here. We haven't quite got these rooms correct yet. So what I'm now going to do, and this won't take long actually, is we need to delete this, all this in here, like that. Clear it out. I think what I will do, just to keep things simple, is probably also just clear out that wall. Now I'm going to come in here and copy all of this. Now, if we spin it round, it doesn't quite match up, does it? No! You're kidding me right now. Why can't things be simple? So if we do that, we pop it in. So we've got a little bit, I think, of clearing up to do. Actually, it's not looking too bad, I don't think. Good. Hey, that's nice. So we have now managed to fit it all into this space, meaning that we can now delete everything that is here. We've also let go 4 members of staff, which is just wonderful. So, because it saves money, we're going to get rid of all that. Actually, I should have done the bulldoze so that we can also get rid of all those walls. Look at that big bit of space. So the next job is we are going to copy this. Now there will need to be some changes happening in this space, but hopefully not too many. Let's just start simple and copy what we have and get it all down there. Oops, I spun it around so that we can have a look at this. Yeah, okay, there it is. 30 grand for that department, and we can see that we do have that slither here for a couple of other bits like the lab, but we're not going to need this huge corridor either. One door is going to be enough. You know, the design is now can now be different, so I'm going to clean it up so that we don't have as many doors, and then I can't wait to delete this. So here we are. Pathology is sorted out. It's not changed much. We've removed this corridor, which means that we've had to fiddle with these two doors just a little bit, so we can still get the stretchers and stuff for pathology. The janitor's closet had a door coming out this way from this wall up here, so there was an indent. So we're going to probably increase this janitor closet, and I've put the door coming into the pathology corridor over here. Haven't sorted out the windows just yet. That's something that absolutely needs to be done. I'm going to move the staff down from pathology that's on the top floor. I think it's better to have pathology on the ground floor as well. Obviously we would want it in the basement, but there isn't a basement in this game, so at least being on the ground floor works for me, and it means that we can finally get this garden back up here, which was so much nicer. Here we go, there we go, yeah, that looks nice. It looks like I need to get a little bit of floor in that corridor. I've repaired this area as well from that ICU room that we popped in that time. So adjusted the roof here. So I've actually ended up putting a corridor around here. I need to do the floor. So we might do a similar thing that I've done here over here at some point in the future. Let's get the floor in. Oops, there we go. So there is that. So that's looking a bit better. I always wanted this top building to be smaller than the floors below it, and we have finally achieved that. And to be honest, I don't have to go over that. I could expose it like I have over here, but it's okay. It's I like it. I think this is looking a little bit better. So back down to the ground floor. This leaves us with a big old bit of space here. Now we are going to need some sort of double door situation here with a corridor coming round to pathology, and here we might also look at doing more janitor closets as well, leaving us sort of a space a little bit like this for labs, for a hematology lab, which will be ward only. So that's the next bit to work on. It's going to be a little bit complex and a truly new part of the hospital. So here we are. Now it looks a little bit complicated and it's not finished, but it should be functional so that I can start getting an idea, bar these cupboards here. So what we've done is we've sorted out the corridor here so that we do have some double doors that go into this staff only area, and you can see that we have created indeed a corridor that comes round here to pathology so that they can just walk straight round here. We have what can be probably 2 decent sized cleaning closets, and we've also increased the size of this one, so we might be able to do something more interesting with that one, because up here in X-ray, look at this cleaning closet, and this is actually 5 separate cleaning closets. So to get a couple of them out of there, just 2, and then having 3 occupy this space, I think would really help. So that'll be good. Then you can see we have the new hematology lab. We've not done a lot of the sign work just yet. Oh, there's thunder going outside. But they can come into here, and just like the ones on the other floor, there's a little area for them to get washed up before they then actually go into this area. This is where they keep their samples, in this space here. So you can see they are 2 separate rooms to get cleaned up, get scrubs, all in my mind, of course, just roleplay. And then we've got samples being stored, and then they come into the main lab. And for now, we've set up 3 working spaces, and I've put in some machinery, but not as much in the one as upstairs. I've not quite sorted out the floor 100% yet, or necessarily all of the windows, although I have messed with the windows in pathology, because we can't really have windows in any of this area, which I think, now that I've put some bushes and shrubs along here, that works fine. You know, I think it looks absolutely fine. But what I want to do is just spend some time. You know, we'll employ some staff for this space, and over the next couple of episodes, while we're working on our traumatology objectives, we'll see how this works. If this is, you know, if we need more machinery, if it is easing pressure, and if there's still any heavy loads, do we need more staff space, you know, because we've got room here to adjust accordingly. So we're just going to live with it for a little bit and see how it works. Let's get some staff in. So I think for now we'll put 2 on the day and 1 at night in here, and we'll be making them ward only, and we'll see how they go. So we're advanced biochemistry, I think would be great. We're going to also unlock any hidden perks. So what have we got here? Jennifer Williams is looking quite nice. She's an early bird, so we need to put her on during the day. Her rest levels decrease slower. That's fantastic. So we're going to employ her. And we are just going to set her to hospitalized patients only. Then we do have somebody who's a fresh parent. They don't have advanced. Let's press this again. So we've got dirty feet, late for work, dirty feet, and an alcoholic. So we're going to refresh because I'm not having it. So late for work. But this one's loyal. Takes 20% less salary when leveling up, and a germaphobe. Not too bad. We might actually grab them, and leave them on nighttime, and once again just all patients. So we need 1 more for daytime staff. We're going to refresh these. I definitely want them to have advanced biochemistry. Look at this, doesn't cause discomfort during examinations. Not really relevant here. What's this one? This is takes 20% less salary, does not take free time breaks, which is not necessarily a good thing. It means that they get exhausted rather than going to get a break and feeling good about themselves. So strangely, I might actually go with Mark Williams here. Might do that. So let's pop him there. Stick them on ward, and so there we go. We have staff, and over the next couple of episodes, we'll see how these changes are working for us within Royal Peeping Hospital. Let me know in the comments below what you think about the changes. Like I say, they're not finalised. We're going to be tweaking them, and they certainly need extra decorating and stuff. But I think this is a positive change for the hospital, and let's see how well it works. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Thank you to all my Patreons for their continued support.